Welcome back to another episode of Nightmares and News, where we pride ourselves on bringing you spooky updates on all things horror and the latest in horror news. Make sure to follow so you never miss an update from the Horror Burrito, because today we talk Elden Ring movie from A24 will release in theaters on March 2028. Writer-director Alex Garland, known for his work on Annihilation and Ex Machinima, is gearing up to enter production on Elden Ring, and the live-action movie from A24 has a release date. Alex Garland's Elden Ring will release in theaters March 3rd, 2028. Elden Ring is produced by A24 in partnership with Bandai Namco and filmed for IMAX. Production will begin in spring of 2026. What is Elden Ring? Created under the guidance of From Software's Hideki Miyazaki, based on a mythological story written by George R.R. Martin, action RPG Elden Ring debuted in 2022. The popular game allows players to explore vast environments and dungeons to discover the unknown and enjoy the sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming obstacles and challenges. The dark fantasy action RPG has surpassed 30 million copies sold worldwide. Blooper Team reveals work on 7 horror titles as part of Leadership Expansion. Already at work on Silent Hill Remake and the recently announced Layers of Fear 3, Blooper Team recently announced that it has expanded its leadership. In doing so, the developer has announced that it is moving to a multi-project structure, which also happens to include 5 more horror titles that are currently in co-development. With the new executive team in place, Blooper Team CEO Piotr Babino says that the developer will continue to operate with 2 first-party production teams, working on the studio's major releases. The 2 first-party teams are working on what Bambino describes as what defines Blooper Team: single-player horror experiences with strong gameplay foundations, premium execution, and themes that resonate on a deeper emotional or social level. To quote, "We don't want fewer than 2 productions because relying on a single title creates too much risk in today's market. But we also don't want more, because quality, focus, and creative oversight would inevitably suffer. For us, 2 core productions are the right balance between ambition and responsibility." To run down what we know so far, in addition to the Silent Hill and Layers of Fear 3, Blooper Team and their co-development label, Broken Mirror Games, are also at work on the Nintendo-exclusive Project M for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. There's also Project H, which is currently being worked on by the team behind Chronos, The New Dawn, which has been described as the most ambitious project this team has ever undertaken, with the greatest commercial potential of any of their titles. Return to the Metro and Metro 2039 coming this winter. 4A Games and Deep Silver are back at it with the Metro series, unveiling Metro 2039 for Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, Steam, and the Epic Games Store this winter. The follow-up to 2019's Metro Exodus was revealed as part of a 15-minute stream, which featured interviews from the executive producer, the creative director, and the co-creative director and lead audio designer, as well as a 6-minute reveal trailer and gameplay tease. The gameplay itself was captured using a mix of gameplay and real-time cinematics, giving the fans a glimpse of the series' environments, visual fidelity, and iconic Metro equipment, including the signature weapons and swatch during a mutant combat encounter. The year is 2039. For a quarter century, the last survivors of nuclear war have been locked in bitter confinement deep in the Metro tunnels. Beneath the poisoned city of Moscow, now the underground factions are unified under one banner: the Nova Reach. Led by a new Führer, the legendary Spartan hunter, the Führer promises salvation and a new life for the people of the surface, but in reality, communities remain trapped deep within the Metro, flooded by propaganda and misinformation, suffering under his authoritarian reign. You play as the Stranger, a recluse haunted by violent waking nightmares, forced to undertake a harrowing journey back down to the Metro, a place he swore he would never return to. The Stranger will be a fully voiced lead protagonist, making a notable step towards deeper immersion in the series. Atmospheric storytelling. Repo, the Genetic Opera, and Little Shop of Horrors return to Regal Theaters in May. 2 cult classic horror musicals are returning to the big screen at Regal Cinemas next month. Repo, the Genetic Opera will screen on May 29th, followed by Little Shop of Horrors on May 31st. In 2008, Repo, the Genetic Opera, a worldwide epidemic, encountered a biotech company to launch an organ financing program with a killer repossession clause. Celebrating its 40th anniversary, 1986's Little Shop of Horrors sees a nerdy florist find his chance for success and romance with the help of a giant man-eating plant that demands to be fed. The films are screening as part of Regal's month-long programming, celebrating musical-centric cinema. And a 4K restoration of Repo, the Genetic Opera, is currently in the works. Co-op survival horror game Dark Hours heading to PS5, Xbox Series on April 22nd. After launching in full on Steam and the Epic Games Store last October, Piece of Cake Studios will be bringing the co-op multiplayer title to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series on April. Per the press release, the console versions of Dark Hours will include the following features and content at launch: 8 monsters with their exclusive abilities and weaknesses, 50 plus heist items, heist kits, various hacking and remote control devices, EMP, holy and ice grenades, flare gun, entity scanners and GPS trackers, instant camera, and more. We'll also have a PvPvE mode where 2 teams of robbers compete against each other. Crossplay and friends online system. Dark Hours has you up until 3 of your friends play as thieves aiming to pull off a daring heist inside an auction house. Naturally, the place is haunted, and when your break-in is disrupted by a supernatural event, you and your team end up trapped in the building with an evil entity. Jenna Ortega takes Paris and first look at Wednesday Season 3. From Paris with Dread comes the first image of Wednesday Season 3, which features Jenna Ortega and Thing in front of the Eiffel Tower. Currently in production, the latest installment in the Netflix most-watched English-language series of all time, creators Alfred Goff and Miles Miller are back as showrunners alongside executive producer and director Tim Burton. Season 3 plot details are being kept under wraps, but the directors have previously teased, this season we welcome new students, new teachers, and excavate some long-rotting Addams Family secrets. Wednesday is expected to return in 2027, and if she's in France, we can most likely assume she'll be visiting the catacombs. Being said though, that's all the news I have for you today, my lovely fiends. Stay spooky, keep those claws sharp, and consume more souls of the living. I've been your host, Bumps of the Night, and please remember, if you enjoyed today's content, consider clicking the buttons like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, are all fantastic things that help out the algorithm and help me bring you more weekly news. With that being said though, just know I appreciate your viewership, and I'll scare you in the next one.